Building an AI application has never been easier. Building one that is secure, scalable, cost optimized, and truly production ready is an entirely different challenge.
Hello everyone, I'm Tijani-Abagaro, a senior AWS solutions architect specializing in enterprise architecture, cloud platforms, and the generative AI. Welcome back to the Enterprise AI on AWS series. In episode 1, I explored the Enterprise Refund AI Assistant from the user's perspective. Today, I will step behind the interface and conduct an architectural review of the production runtime platform. My goal is not simply to explain AWS services, it is to explain the architectural decisions behind them. Instead of walking through the disconnected diagram, I will follow a single request as it moves through the entire AWS runtime architecture. Along the way, I will examine the design principle, architectural decisions, trade-offs, and the AWS best practices that shaped this solution. And like every successful architecture, I will begin with the business requirements, not technology.
Every successful production architecture begins with business requirements, not technology. Before selecting a single AWS service, I first identified the business problems this platform needed to solve. The first challenge was accuracy, because this assistant evaluates corporate refund eligibility. Minimizing hallucination is essential to avoid incorrect recommendations and the potential financial or compliance risk. The second challenge was security. The platform processes sensitive customer and transaction data. So, protecting that information through strong identity controls, encryption, and the secure service boundaries was a fundamental requirement. The third challenge was operational simplicity. The business needed a solution that could be delivered quickly while minimizing ongoing infrastructure management, allowing the engineering team to focus on delivering business value instead of maintaining services. These business requirements become the architecture success criteria shown in the screen actually. Every architectural decision was evaluated against six quality attributes, such as availability, scalability, security, performance, manageability, and cost efficiency. These were not just technical objectives, they became the engineering guardrails that shaped every design decision throughout this architecture. Before selecting a single AWS service, I established the architectural principles that every technology decision had to satisfy. Before selecting a single AWS service, I established four architectural principles that would guide every technology decision throughout this solution. The first principle was serverless first. My objective was to eliminate unnecessary infrastructure management and allow the platform to scale automatically based on demand while following a pay-per-use model. The second principle was security by design. Security isn't a feature that is added later. It is embedded into every layer through least privilege access, encryption, and a secure service boundary. The third principle was manage service first. Rather than spending engineering effort maintaining infrastructure, I wanted the team focused on delivering business value by leveraging AWS managed services wherever appropriate. Finally, infrastructure as code. Every component of this platform is provisioned through Terraform, ensuring consistent, repeatable, and auditable deployments across every environment. These four principles became the architectural filter for every design decision. If a technology didn't support these principles, it wasn't included in the solution. Now let us see how these principles come together in the complete runtime architecture. Now that we have established the business requirements and the architectural principles, let us bring everything together by looking at the complete runtime architecture. Rather than examining each AWS service individually, I would like to trace a single request as it flows through the platform from the moment a user submits a question until an AI-generated response is returned. The journey begins at the presentation layer, where Amazon CloudFront securely delivers the web application and the static contents from Amazon S3. The request then enters the API layer through Amazon API Gateway, which serves as the secure entry point into the platform. From there, compute layer takes over. AWS Lambda orchestrates the request by coordinating retrieval, AI inference, and the data persistence. Before generating a response, the knowledge layer retrieves relevant enterprise information through retrieval augmented generation, ensuring the model responds using the business specific context rather than general knowledge alone. The request then moves into the AI layer, where Amazon Bedrock invokes the foundation model to generate a secure, grounded response. Finally, the data layer stores conversation state in Amazon DynamoDB, while the security in the observability layer continuously provide identity management, encryption, logging, and the monitoring across the platform. Now that we have seen the complete request flow, let us zoom into each layer and understand the architectural decision behind every major component. We have now seen how the architecture works. The next question is why these technology choices? Enterprise architecture is about making information trade-offs. Every major design decision begins with evaluating alternatives and selecting the options that best satisfy the business requirements. For the compute layer, I evaluated Amazon ECS and the Amazon EKS alongside AWS Lambda because this workload is event driven with unpredictable traffic. Lambda provided automatic scaling, pay per use pricing, and a significantly lower operational overhead. For AI interface, I selected Amazon Bedrock. Instead of hosting foundation model on GPU-based EC2 instance, this removed the complex of GPU provisioning, model hosting, and the infrastructure management, allowing the team to focus on delivering business value. For the knowledge layer, I chose OpenSearch Serverless instead of self-managed vector database. This eliminated cluster administration and the capacity planning while providing scalable semantic retrieval for retrieval augmented generation. At the API layer, I selected Amazon API Gateway over using application load balancer alone because it provides centralized authentication, request validation, throttling, and the API governance. Finally, Every infrastructure component is provided using Terraform, ensuring repeatable, version control, and the auditable deployments across every environment. Every technology choice was driven by business requirements, operational efficiency, and architectural trade-offs, not by using the largest number of AWS services. We have now discussed the architectural decisions. The final step is validating that those decisions align with proven AWS architectural best practices. I evaluated this solution against the AWS Well-Architected Framework, which is built around six pillars, such as operational excellency, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. Operational excellency. Operational excellency is achieved through Terraform for infrastructure as code, GitHub Action for automated deployments, and the CloudWatch for centralized monitoring. Security is implemented through least privilege IAM policy, API gateway as a security boundary, and the AWS KMS for encryption. Reliability comes from using managed AWS services such as Lambda, DynamoDB, and the OpenSearch serverless, providing high availability while minimizing operational complexity. Performance efficiency is achieved through CloudFront edge caching, DynamoDB's low latency performance, and automatic serverless scaling. Cost optimization comes from adopting a fully serverless pay-per-use architecture that eliminates ideal infrastructure. Finally, sustainability is supported by using managed AWS services that optimize resource utilization through shared cloud infrastructure. Beyond architectural quality, also evaluated the operational risks. Foundation model changes are isolated using system manager parameter store. Prompt injection is mitigated through API validation in the application guardrails. AI costs are controlled using CloudWatch alarms together with token limits. The, the result is an architecture that is secure, reliable, operationally efficient, and ready for production. As we conclude this architecture review, I would like to return to the complete runtime architecture one final time. When we started this session, we didn't begin by talking about AWS services. We began with the business problem. From there, we defined the success criteria, established the architectural principles, designed the runtime flow, evaluated the trade-offs, and finally validated the solution against the AWS well-architected framework. Looking at this architecture now, every component has a clear purpose. Every service was selected because it solved a specific business requirement, not simply because it was available. If there is one message I would like you to remember, it is this. Great architecture starts with the business requirements, not technology. Technology will continue to evolve, but good architectural thinking never goes out of style. In episode 3, we will move beyond the runtime architecture and explore how enterprise knowledge securely enters this platform through an automated document ingestion pipeline. Thank you for watching and for like and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode.